Coming back to this discussion on how quickly NPAs in banking sector can be resolved, I have been discussing two proposals put forward by RBI Deputy Governor Viral Acharya, and my guests are Rajneesh Kumar of SBI, RK Bansal of IDBI, and Rasesh Shah of Edelweiss. The point I'm trying to get at, gentlemen, is how can we speed up the resolution process? Mr. Bansal, what exactly do the bankers want from the Reserve Bank for a quick resolution of NPLs?
See, as far as from regulatory is concerned, the issue here is today most of these cases which we are looking at it, let us understand the whole issue. Mostly they have been classified as NP either through AQR or through other regions. That case has become NP. Now, if we look at the restructuring of some of these cases, if we don't do under S4A, because S4A is not fitting into, because of 2-3 specific reasons that some loan has already become due, so we can't reschedule it as per the norms, then similarly we can't reduce the interest rate. So the case doesn't fit into S4A, though the company has good cash flow. Yeah. The other reason is like we can't take cash flows of the more than 6 months in future. Yeah. Okay, so now coming to overcome these issues, perhaps we need to go through a normal restructuring process. Now, under normal restructuring process, the challenge which is coming when we reduce the interest rate, when we increase the reschedulement, we already have, let us say, a 40% provision in this case, suppose. Anyway case, if I take 40 or 25 or 100, more than 40 also in Manuka. When we do a restructuring, the hit which is because of this haircut, because of the instrument conversion, we need to make sometimes additional provision of roughly another 40%. So in that case, the provisioning becomes 80%, which is perhaps will be daunting for the banks, and that could bring into picture the issue which you said that a new MD should do or new chairman should do, whatever.
You kick it down,
The point here is, what we have asked from RBI is, okay, like say under S4A, you have a sustainable portion. So under this also, maybe even if it is less than 50%, the sustainable portion should be allowed to be treated as standard. The existing provision could be adjusted somewhere here and there, and some other tweaking of the norms which is under CDR. So that is what we want, perhaps. I think from IBA side it has been sent. Let us see what RBI does. That will help in faster resolution.
So what's your sense, Mr. Rajneesh Kumar? What is this couple of things the Reserve Bank can do, the regulator or the government can do to ensure faster resolution?
So I think Mr. Bansal raised a very valid point that current structure of provisioning, so there is no incentive for faster resolution. Rather, there is a disincentive in terms of accelerated provisioning, NPV loss and this. So my request would be that if RBI could take a little bit more pragmatic view, and which without affecting the credibility and the stability of the banking system, but the provisions, if they could be spread out. Because otherwise what will happen that if everything, say 60% in some cases or 50%, if there is a deep haircut on account of restructuring, then the banks, most of the banks are not in a position to provide. And that is where also it becomes one of the inhibiting factors for a faster resolution. So a little bit of breathing time could be really helpful in terms of the provisioning. And even for sale to ARCs from 1st April, the provisioning norms are going to be much tighter.
50%.
And this is something where the regulator can have a look at.
Well, Rasesh, we don't have time to discuss the National Asset Management Company which Viral Acharya proposed, but in case there is such a government-backed asset management company which buys up extremely stressed assets like gas-based power plants, how can it be capitalized? It has to come from the consolidated fund. Is there any other way?
Yeah, you have raised an important point, and actually that is one of the hurdles is government has only so much resources, and a lot of us, including recently when the finance minister spoke about it, government funds should be used for education, for rural schemes, for other social uses also. I think using this to help clean up banks or the NPAs that have happened is maybe not a very highly preferred option from what we have heard from the government. But also along with that, whether it's government funds or they raise third-party money, what you are doing is you are going to set up one more ARC equivalent of that. But if that is run by the government, if it is in the public sector, you will run the same, large moral hazard that even when you do a very pragmatic restructuring, there is nothing that will not stop the opposition from accusing the government of favoring some business groups and some business houses. So ideally our view is that we should allow the market-based solutions, and there are a lot of global funds who are there are a lot of ARCs which are there, and also along with what Mr. Bansal and Mr. Rajneesh have been saying, allow banks more leeway, because a lot of these rules we have made them more ironclad, because we are trying to make sure the banks don't game the system. But I think the banks don't want to game the system, they want to also clean up, and the market-based pragmatic solutions is the only way to go.
No, but what do you mean by market-based? If you have a market-based, special situations fund, or, first of all, you'll require a very large fund, because the gas-based and power projects would be something like 2 lakh crore or 1.5 lakh crore of stressed assets, thermal and gas-based. I mean, you would require a great deal of capital and equity and debt capital to be able to buy them up. Is it really possible to have a market-based solution?
That's a good point, but what I would say, Lata, if it's a gas-based power project and the gas is not there, it is unviable. Whether you carry it on the banks or you try and transfer it to some government-owned ARC, there is no scope of revival on that. You are only transferring the asset. Maybe it's just easier for banks to mark it down, because there is no future currently of a gas-based power plant at all. So you just do a mark-to-market, assess the underlying economic value of that particular project, and either the banks keep it on their books by marking it down, or sell to an ARC at that markdown price, or sell it to this. The underlying value does not change when you transfer it from the bank books to a government or ARC.
No, Rasesh, so in that case, what according to you is the amount of loans that are completely irretrievable, like the gas-based plants?
So if you ask us, the estimate we did about a year ago was that the total stressed assets, including NPS plus restructured and everything, was approximately about 800,000 crores, which is also the RBI estimate. And our estimate was about 300,000 crores out of that is the haircut that is required, which is either unsustainable debt or unviable projects. But the good news on that is, out of the 3 lakh crores, almost 2 lakh crores has been already provided by the banks. So another 1 lakh crore, which is provisioning over the next 4 quarters, because banks are now providing about 25 to 30,000 crores every quarter. So in the next 4 quarters, the provisioning will be over, and once you have provided for that, you have in a way anyway cleaned up the books. You still have to work towards reviving the other part of that. The other 500,000 crores has to be revived, has to be recovered, has to be restructured, so that they continue to create economic value. But I think we are close to the end. We have another 4 quarters of provisioning to go.
Okay, we don't have, we are running out of time. Rajneesh Kumar, you would agree with that number, that in terms of time and in terms of amount, we are only 1 lakh crore away and only 1 year away?
That is about the provisioning part, but we have to also recognize that these assets, they bring a lot of economic value and employment. So it is in everybody's interest, and it is in the economic interest of the country, it is in the interest of the revenue generating capacity of these ventures, that the approach should be that they should be up and running. Maybe they cannot carry the current level of debt. So provisioning is one issue, and resolution from the overall economic value, that is another issue. And third thing about ARC, because you are running out of time, and about the final point is that again it bogs down to where the fund and capital are coming in, and what is holding on, or what are the roadblocks where even if the private funds, like where we did one arrangement with the Canadian Private Equity Fund, what are the roadblocks they are facing in terms of moving ahead with the resolution, and government policy support in certain matters will definitely be required. Many power plant, not at 100 capacity, you gave example of gas-based power plant, but they were able to operate at 30-35% PLF, because government provided some support in the gas pricing. And so those kind of policy interventions and support from the government will be definitely required. But ultimately, I think it bogs down to where the capital is coming from, what is the risk return reward matrix this capital is seeking, and whether that risk reward matrix is available, and removal of the roadblocks in.
We are out of time completely. We are out of time completely. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me in this special conversation. One hopes that since both the government and the Reserve Bank are once again concentrating on the NPA issue, the bankers will have a little more policy help to resolve these problems. That's it on this edition of Indianomics. Thanks for watching.